Um, Someone writes, I'm looking how to help my adult son be more independent from my ADHD husband. My husband does too much for my son, but he doesn't realize it. And now that he's retired, there's almost a codependence. My son expresses a hint of a need, and my husband jumps at the opportunity to fulfill it every time. Help.
Yeah. Hi. I see that. I see that. And honestly, like I'm that ADHD parent that will like want to like jump to help my adult. Like that's my instinct as well, because
Sure.
I'm like a do too much person. So I get where your
Yeah.
husband's coming from. And we all love to be needed. It's nice to be
Yes.
needed.
Yes.
It's really nice. There's nothing wrong with that. It's loving. Some of us, our love languages are acts of service, hands down. And again, it's not that there's anything in particular that is wrong with that. It's just that it's not helpful for independence. It's not helpful for launching. And there will be other times in your adult child's life where they might really actually need that extra help, that extra support. And it's very important that we work on having the impulse control. Myself and your husband do not preemptively offer that support when it's not even being asked for. And I would also, suggest you relook at that slide, the difference between a friend and a parent. So, it sounds like maybe there's like a friendship forming there, which is, again, lovely, comes from a good place, but probably not what your adult son needs right now.
Yeah, we had a few questions about how do we have a conversation with a parent who doesn't know they're enabling their child, and that's from a few different perspectives.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. You might be like a sister of a parent. You might be the other parent. It is really, really tricky because at the end of the day, having the self-awareness that you're enabling requires it requires like a second order level of introspection. And I fully get it because from the perspective of the person who's enabling, they feel like they're just being really, really nice. Like it just feels like good parenting. It's effortful. It's thoughtful. What I most suggest is to learn a little bit from the world of addictions, because they have really developed ways of intervening with enabling parents. So it's not as dangerous as enabling, for example, enabling parent when there's like a severe drug or substance use, but it's still very destructive. And so I would suggest that you look at different ways of, for example, having, a group intervention with that parent, having, forwarding this to them and asking them to kind of consider a little bit about how their behavior might be adding to the problem. I would also suggest that you be okay with blowback, like be okay with that enabling parent getting really, really, really upset and defensive. That will happen. And it's okay. Just again, regulating yourself so that, you feel like empowered to stand up to this parent.
Yeah. This is from a different perspective. I'm very much an adult who is struggling and still lives at home with my parents. I chose that in part because I do have a good relationship with them, but I've noticed my independence has worsened over the years. I go out less and less. I dislike driving more and more. And in general, I feel like I'm regressing. I'm genuinely very concerned for when I don't have my parents around anymore. I'm not sure I can cope on my own. Any advice you have is appreciated.
Okay, so first of all, yay. I'm just so happy. Whoever you are absolutely on the right track. Like just the very fact that you are attending this webinar and asking that question, like you are going to be just fine. For real, because you have the motivation to and the self-awareness to look around and be like, ooh, like I'm not driving as much as I was. I'm more dependent than I used to be. That's awesome. That is the biggest first step. I can't tell you how hard it is from outside of the adult child to get somebody else to take that first step, and you already did. So, what I would suggest is to reach out to an anxiety specialist and see maybe if it sounds like, driving less or being more dependent or doing less, that might be coming from a place of anxious dependence. And since you are noticing that you're not pushing yourself as much as you used to, this is the moment to like really think like, why? Like, what is the fear that I have if I do like take these steps and like break out of these patterns?
Yeah. Okay. A mom says, my daughter struggles to accept responsibility. She crashes the car or breaks something, and it's always someone else's fault. She doesn't fix or repair things when they break. She doesn't take responsibility for herself in general.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very difficult. I think one of the things that I might suggest is, again, so sometimes we might not take emotional responsibility, but at the very least, we would need to have some consequences, some natural consequences. Like if she crashes a car, she doesn't get car keys anymore. If she breaks something, it doesn't get replaced. I think that accountability, while we want it to be intrinsic, natural accountability, it is incredibly difficult to teach that without natural consequences. And this is one of those scenarios where being too nice actually emboldens that behavior. So I would suggest, being not protecting her from the consequences of her behavior.
Mm-hmm. Okay.